Located just a half-hour north of the city of Eilat lies one of the most majestic parks in the entire land of Israel, Timna. Walking through Timna Park is literally walking through time. 500 million years of geological evolution. All of this area at one time was covered by a huge deep sea called the Tethys Sea. And further to the east, 500 million years ago, came up these huge, massive granite mountains. But as the Tethys Sea began to dissipate, it carved off the top layer of this limestone mountain. And with the earthquakes, the rains, the ice age, it carved out the valley I'm walking in right now to reveal some of the most beautiful geological formations. So let's go see some of them now. One of the great things about visiting Timna Park is to be able to walk on this timeless landscape. Underneath all of these rocks you see behind me is sand just like this. And it makes me wonder, after another million years of erosion, what formations will be revealed. The natural beauty here in Timna is just one aspect of the park. But when ancient man arrives here, they'll find something of value within its stones. As you walk about, you'll notice these beautiful green stones everywhere. This is copper ore, and it was during the Chalcolithic period here in Timna that the Copper Age began. One of the ways ancient man would mine the copper here at Timna would be to dig out these vertical shafts until they found a vein of copper ore like you can see right here. And then once discovering that vein, they would start to dig horizontally, digging out all of that ore and bringing it to the top. So in all of these shafts, you'll have channels from the left to the right, all following ores of copper. And as a visitor to Timna, one can explore these shafts on their own. Okay, now that we learned how they mined the copper ore, let's now learn how they smelted it. Once the copper ore was mined and brought here in baskets, they would use these tools over here to grind the rocks to a fine powder. That fine powder would then be brought here to the oven, which was fueled with acacia wood, a biblical tree that grows in this area. Using manpower and these bellows, they would pump air into the oven, and the temperatures would rise to at least 1,000 degrees Celsius when the copper would melt. Copper, being heavy, would sink to the bottom of the oven, where the slag, the refuse, would slide out from a hole that was drilled into the side of the oven. Once it cooled off, what remained were these huge copper patties known as an ingot, and then they would melt it down, pour the copper into the mold, making a beautiful bar, creating an easy way to transport all of their copper. The Egyptian Empire will fall in the 13th century BCE, and the Edomians, who were already mining copper in what is today southern Jordan, began to mine copper here as well. King Solomon in the 9th century BCE will also establish mines here. These mines would be known as Solomon's Mines. In fact, the pillars, the beautiful formations you can see behind me, are named after King Solomon. Timna Park offers many ways to experience it, from hiking and biking trails to jeep tours, as well as a multimedia presentation that tells the story of the park. There's also a fantastic visitor center with a full-service restaurant and overnight accommodations. So on your next visit to Israel, make sure to visit Timna Park.